721 or visit our website. And with that, I'd like to introduce Merritt Gilbert, who is an instructor with Ed2Go, and she'll be able to talk to you more about all the things that you're interested in today.
Hello, everybody. I hope my audio is clear. Can I get a thumbs up if it is? Okay, good. My name is Merritt Gilbert. I am an instructor at Ed2Go. I teach the digital court reporting course. So I first want to just start by telling you a little bit about what a digital court reporter is. So basically, legal proceedings require a verbatim record of what is said. In order to do that, we need digital reporters to capture clear audio, and they handle other duties as well. And once that audio is captured, it can be later transcribed by a legal transcriptionist. So that is a very broad way of putting it. I'll go into a little bit of detail in a second, but I just want to show you, stop at this picture right here and kind of show you, this is a typical deposition setup. We have the court reporter, we have the witness, and two attorneys in the room, and you can see that there's microphones laid out. You see the court reporter with her laptop. She has the audio coming into her laptop right there, and it's synced up into her digital recording software where she's able to take notes while the proceeding is happening and while they're on the record of annotations of what is being said, who is saying it, things that will help a legal transcriptionist create a verbatim transcript out of what is provided by the digital reporter. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on this next page. So like I said, they're using microphones that will connect to your laptop and record audio into that digital recording software installed on your laptop. We also utilize backup digital recorders. That is a redundant way of recording the audio in case there is any equipment malfunction. Our number one goal as digital reporters is to preserve the record. So that's why that backup recorder is so important. So like I said, they are annotating what they say on the record, but they're not typing everything being said. They're not verbatim. They're just notes that just help guide the legal transcriptionist when needed for that verbatim transcript. The digital reporter will swear in the witness for these depositions. They mark and keep track of exhibits. They record job information, for example, the names of the attorneys present, what law firm they're there for, the witness's name, any proper nouns that were said on the record. The digital reporter will ask for spellings of those, anything that the legal transcriptionist will need to create that perfect transcript. And they submit all that information and archive it. And then once that's done, they are done with their role in the process. So again, a little bit of a setup, a little bit laid out for you here. The reporter with her laptop. You see the microphones are laid out in the room. She has two backup recorders, even better, and her headphones where she can listen to the audio as it's being recorded and make sure that it's clear for the legal transcriptionist later. Also, just to note, this is an in-person deposition. So I'll go into remote depositions in a few slides. Okay, so again, the process, it starts with the deposition being scheduled. So the attorney or paralegal or courthouse books the court reporter for a certain date and time. The court reporter then arrives at that location and date, at that date and time, sets up their equipment. They go on the record, they swear in the witness, they record and annotate the proceeding, they manage exhibits, collect important information, and then they submit that information and archive it. If the transcript is ordered, then it will go to the legal transcriber who transcribes, proofs, and formats the transcript. And then once that's completed, the transcript will be sent to the client or to the courthouse. I want to go over a few differences because as a digital reporter, you have a few different options. You can either be a W-2 employee, And as an employee, you're usually going to be getting benefits, and it's going to usually be more of like a 40-hour, 9 to 5 type of work schedule. And it is typical that digital reporters that work as W-2s work for a courthouse, and court reporting agencies usually utilize independent contractors or 1099s for their digital reporters. And like most jobs, you have the opportunity to work as part-time and full-time, whatever works for you. And when you are a 1099 working for a court reporting agency, you even can give your schedule, and if you have certain restrictions and things, you can let them know what your schedule is specifically. Okay, so due to the pandemic, the whole legal industry had to go remote, and it's actually been a very good process. Like, I'm very happy about that, because attorneys and judges might feel like, no, we've been doing it this way for 100 years in person, how can we do it remote? Well, they figured it out, and it's been very successful. And they do this by using video conferencing, like what you're seeing right now, or just using the telephone. So it's been very effective and become very mainstream, and people believe that this will be the norm even after the pandemic is over. And there are now in-person proceedings happening today, socially distant, but in person, but most are still happening remotely, from my understanding. The reporter is still able to perform all the duties they would as if they were in person. They can capture clear audio through the computer, and also as a backup, the redundant version of that audio through their cell phone. So we have that ability to preserve the record accurately through remote means. A little bit of background about the court reporting industry. So I would say it's true that most court reporters in the nation are stenographic court reporters. So it's what you're used to seeing in TV and movies, in the media, where you see someone sitting in the courtroom, like this lady here, typing on a little machine called a stenographic machine, stenotype. And this picture is even a little outdated because the machines are digital now, like the picture at the top. They don't have paper coming out of it like that anymore. But basically the stenotype machine allows the stenographer to type very quickly, up to 225 words per minute. And the stenographer leaves the proceeding with a rough version of the transcript because they're typing verbatim as the proceeding is taking place. The thing is that there's a lower number of steno graduates. There's not as many schools teaching stenography, and it's also very difficult to finish steno school. It has a very low pass rate. And steno school says that it takes 2 years, but generally it takes more than that. I've even heard stenographers tell me they've taken up to 8 years. So you can see why there's just not as many stenographers coming into the industry as there are retiring. So that is why there is a national shortage of court reporters. So what's the solution to this shortage? It is digital reporting to fill that supply gap. So Florida's actually been a little bit ahead of the game, thank goodness. The Florida Supreme Court in 2002 first recognized this shortage, and court reporting agencies started utilizing digital reporters 10 years ago, first cited the shortage. So that's great, and it's definitely helped, but there's still a huge shortage, and why it's so great that we're having this today, because we need more digital reporters to fill that ever-growing supply gap. So just a little bit of background about myself and my coworker. We are the instructors at Ed2Go teaching this course. I have been in the industry for over 10 years. I started as a digital reporter 8 years ago. I'm also trained in voice writing. Natalie, she started out as a stenographer, and she has been teaching court reporting since 2007. So we are so happy to do what we do, because we just know the need is out there and we're passionate about it. So I want to give you a little bit about what a day in the life of a digital court reporter could look like. This is my experience, and I worked for a court reporting agency, and I would get my assignment sent to me from the court reporting agency the day before. Anywhere between 4 and 7 p.m. I would be told, these are the jobs you're assigned to for the next day, and with all the job details included. It could be an all-day deposition. It could be a 5-minute hearing at the courthouse in the morning at 10 a.m. and then a 2 p.m. deposition later on at a law firm or at the court reporting agency. It really just was different every day, which I actually loved. I thought it gave me flexibility to run errands during business hours, which is a big deal. If you're used to the 9 to 5 type of schedule, you're able to do what you want with those breaks. And I was able to submit the assignments to upload the audio and the job information either once the assignment was over or later in the afternoon when I got home. And I know this is a day in the life from 8 years ago. These days, it would be never leaving your home, working remotely most of the time. But just wanted to give you a little bit of a picture there. So the digital court reporting course is, we're preparing students for this high demand field of court reporting. It thoroughly prepares you for the AAERT, which is the American Association of Electronic Reporters and Transcribers, their national certification to become a certified electronic reporter. The course is 100% online. It's self-paced. It's 60 hours of coursework, and you have 6 months to complete it. So you could really get it done in 2 weeks if you're able to commit 2 weeks to it. And it's open enrollment, and you can begin anytime. A prereq of high school diploma, and you must be eligible for a notary. And just so you know, to become a notary, you must live in. To be eligible for a notary in Florida, you must live in Florida and have no felonies on record. And the equipment prereq is a Windows 10 computer. Here's a quick course outline. You would learn about the legal system, the life cycle of a case, types of proceedings, legal terminology, medical terminology, sound and audio equipment, software and annotations. And I'm going to stop right there just to explain a little bit more. So we have a partnership with a digital court reporting software provider who allows our students to get a trial of the software so they can practice annotating videos they can watch of depositions, hearings, etc. And they can practice doing the speaker designations, typing annotations. And it's just really great that our students have that ability because, well, then once they leave our program, they're even much more prepared to, take on the job or get certified if they choose to do so. We go into detail in the course about what to do right before the proceeding, during the proceeding, after the proceeding, how to cover court work and large proceedings. We teach professionalism in the legal system, ethics and confidentiality, and understanding the certification. I'm going to do a quick demo of the course. One moment while I switch gears here. So this is what you see when you log into the course. This is the digital court reporting course with the course description. You can kind of see a little bit like what I just went over our outline. So module 1 is the legal system. Module 2 is all about terminology. And then if you open each section, you can see every page of the course and all of the things that we cover for digital court reporting. Here's the introduction page, which shows a little video introducing you to the course. And we have, within the course, we have interactive training. So there's videos, it's also a lot of reading content, but other interactive training that helps different types of learners. There's, go back to this page. dashboard. There's quizzes after each little section, and then tests after each module, and which just reinforces all of the information you're learning, that once you're done with the course, you truly do understand the role of the digital reporter and are able to cover assignments confidently. So I think that I just love that we have this for students so they can feel confident going into this industry. And that is actually my entire presentation. I'm gonna switch over to Jill Percy. She works at a court reporting agency called Veritext. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Merritt. As Merritt said, my name is Jill Percy. I've been in the court reporting industry for 30 plus years, so I obviously started very young. I was a steno reporter in Chicago for 12 years. I worked at a court reporting school for 8 years, and I've been managing court reporters for the last 9 years. My current position is that I oversee over 300 Florida court reporters for an amazing company called Veritext. The definition of a court reporter is the guardian of the record whose job it is to capture the words spoken by everyone during a court or deposition proceeding. And as Merritt so eloquently stated, there is a massive national shortage in the court reporting industry. Stenographers are retiring in record numbers. The average age of a court reporter, a steno reporter, is 58 years old. Thus, the shortage will continue as they continue to retire. And unfortunately, many schools have closed their doors. Basically, there are 3 different capture methods of reporting. One is the steno machine that has the 26 keys. The second is the voice writer, and you'll see a reporter use a steno mask over their face, and they're basically repeating everything that everyone is saying, and then it goes through their software, and at the end is the English product, the transcript. And the third is digital, where the digital recording equipment is utilized to report the record. If you're nosy, this job is for you. You're privy to all the little details in every aspect of the case. And no, that wasn't me. But seriously, why come work for Veritext? We provide coverage throughout North America and are the leader in deposition and litigation support systems. We've been in business for over 20 years. We currently have over 350 jobs a day throughout the state of Florida alone. We cover all types of proceedings, depositions, trials, so slip and falls, car accidents, insurance cases, now COVID cases. That'll keep us busy for years to come. If you want to work for Veritext and you go through the Ed2Go training, you come work for Veritext, and then you decide, you know what, Florida's too hot for me, I want to move, no problem. We'll utilize your reporting services in your new state. As we're a nationwide agency, and we'll work with you wherever you go. Basically, your role with Veritext will be as an independent contractor, and Merritt touched upon this. You're a 1099. You are not an employee. You won't receive a W-2. There's no insurance, no benefits, no 401k. The great part about it is the absolute flexibility, as you can create your own schedule. So this is great for parents who have young children. If you want to be the field trip chaperone, you take the day off. Family coming to town, no problem. Just let the schedulers know and they won't schedule you. In-laws, you might want to work. So how is the pay structured? Basically, if you come on board full-time in the first 2 years, you can make anywhere from $49,000 to $53,000 a year. After 2 years, you can make up to $68,000. The structure of the program is we have different tiers. So basically, you're paid hourly. That first tier, so if you come in from Ed2Go, you will become a remote only. You don't want to leave the house, you just want to do everything at home. That first tier is $21.50 an hour for remote proceedings. What that entails is a compatible laptop and roughly about $175 worth of other equipment. So that's for the remote setting. If you then kind of graduate, if you will, to the in-person proceedings, you would make $29.05 an hour for in-person proceedings. That, however, will require more equipment, mixers, and everything else for when you're in person. So you will have a cost of upwards of $600 to $800 for additional equipment. Thus, you get the $9, I think it's $9, $8 raise in your hourly. After 5 years, with AERT certification, which Merritt touched upon, the 5-year mark will require certification, but you can then make up to $39.65 an hour, and your yearly pay for that would be $68,000. The good part about the pay, as far as being a digital court reporter, is that there's a 3-hour minimum on every job. So your 2105 times 3 comes out to $64.50. With every job you leave, the minimum is $64.50. A lot of jobs you'll sign on and they cancel, or the deponent, the witness, does not show, or maybe an attorney has an emergency and it's canceled. You will make that $64.50. You're paid hourly from the time the job starts, so you're not making money when you set up or anything. The job starts until the time the job ends. This is not a 9-to-5 job. Merritt touched upon this also. You can maybe take one job and it lasts all day. You could take 3 jobs and maybe they last 2 hours each job. Maybe on Wednesdays you can only work until noon. Not a problem at all. We'll just schedule you in the morning and make sure you're on a job that ends at noon. So the only other cost aside from that equipment and the compatible laptop would be the notary, which you must be a Florida notary in order to swear in the state of Florida. And that will run you about $85 to $100. So the process, upon completion of the Ed2Go program, you will receive a certificate of completion. You would go online under Veritext website, upload your certificate. At that point, you will still need 20 hours of company-specific training. You will not get paid for that, for the training. That will give you hands-on training. You'll be able to shadow fellow reporters, and you'll pretty much finish the 20-hour training and then shadow for as long as you feel comfortable. Once you're comfortable and you feel like you've learned everything you can learn, then you tell us and you'll start receiving jobs. Thus, your pay will start, your hourly pay will begin. The best part of working for Veritext as a digital reporter is not only the money and the flexibility, but you'll become a member of our team, a team who has an amazing support staff and happy hours, which are never a bad thing, and who at the end of the day truly cares about your success. That's it in a nutshell. So hop on the Ed2Go program, and once you get that certificate of completion, hop on board to Veritext. We'd love to have you. We are so busy and need reporters. So we're your stop right after the program. Feel free to type any questions you may have. I know I was kind of quick in some areas, and I'll do my best to answer them at the end. So thank you for your time, and I will now turn it over to Lee Kotwicki, who is the Director of Workforce Solutions for State College of Florida, to discuss funding opportunities and the grant process. Lee?
Thank you, Jill, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm very pleased to make you aware of funding opportunities that will cover the cost of tuition for this very exciting and well-paying career. State College of Florida has partnered with CareerSource Suncoast on 2 grants, which are dependent upon where you live. Today, I'll be talking about Sarasota County residents and Manatee County residents. However, if you don't live in one of those counties or don't feel you qualify for one of these grants, please don't leave us. At the end of the program, Annie from the Women's Resource Center will tell you about scholarship opportunities. So the first one we're going to address is Sarasota County. So anyone living in Sarasota County is eligible for this grant through the United Way, that is the funding source, if you qualify as what they refer to as ALICE. And ALICE is, let me get to there. ALICE is a program funded by United Way for people who are either unemployed or earn a very low wage and are having trouble making ends meet. So this is based on both your household income and the number of people who are residing in your household. This grant is administered by CareerSource Suncoast. Next, we'll talk about those residing in Manatee County. In order to qualify, you cannot live in the Bradenton city limits. So outside the Bradenton city limits, it's funded by Manatee County government. You need to qualify as low income. So again, it's based on both your income and the number of people in your household, and have been affected by COVID. This too is also administered through CareerSource Suncoast. Now, how do you apply? So first, if you're not already registered with Employ Florida, you will want to go to their website. That's employflorida.com. And if you're already registered but don't have a resume posted, you will also want to do that. So the Employ Florida website, as you can see, is funded by the state for employers to post positions so that job seekers can find out what jobs are available, and they can also post their resume for the employers to view. There is no cost for either party. So when you get to the Employ Florida website, you will click on the Create a Resume. If you're already registered, you'll just sign in and do that. Otherwise, you'll scroll down to create an account, click on Individual, and you'll have to scroll through this agreement, click on the terms, agree, and then fill in the form to get registered. So that's step one. The second step is very simple. It's a short application, 6 questions, and it will only take you about 3 minutes to complete. It is CareerSourceSuncoast.com/certified tech. That's the website. We're going to be sending out a flyer after the program to everyone who is registered, and the flyer will have this link on it. So you'll have access to that. We do ask that you be patient after you complete that application. They're going to get quite a response, I believe, from this. And so we're asking for minimally 3 to 5 business days, but someone from CareerSource will contact you probably by phone. If you have any questions, you can contact Anthony Gagliano at CareerSource Suncoast. This is his phone number, which is also on the flyer. So now, what if you don't qualify for either one of the grants that I just spoke about? The cost of the tuition is $795. So you do have the option of just paying for it and getting started. And that would be at ed2go.com/SCF. But the good news is that Annie with the Women's Resource Center will tell you about some scholarship opportunities for those of you who do not qualify. Annie?
Thank you so much, Lee, Jill, and Merritt. Wonderful presentations. And yes, we will be offering scholarships, and the application window opens in January. You can visit our website, www.mywrc.org, for more information. In regards to our survey at the end of this webinar, please fill out the survey. We love to hear from you. And now we're going to go to comments, questions and answers. So we have quite a few here. The first one is from Mary, and she asks, what areas in the country utilizes digital recording?
That means me. As even in the past year, 2 years, digital reporting has become so much more prevalent in all states. There's definitely some states that aren't as, you know, I don't know if the right word's progressive, but just utilizing digital reporters. So did I answer that question?
Perfect.
Oh, okay.
What is the difference between digital and electronic reporter?
No difference. It's just a different term. So if you think of it as the same.
Okay, so I have a question from Leah here. She states, I have a felony, but it's adjudicated withheld. Am I still eligible?
I'm not sure specifically. It's just my understanding that those two requirements for the notary. I would look into, if you type in notary Florida in Google, there are a lot of resources, and you could even reach out to wherever you apply
Perfect.
for your notary.
Courtney asked, do you have to pay for the software?
So it depends. So if you go with Veritext as your employer, working as an independent contractor, they have their own software. And Jill can answer that. But then if you want to get your own software, if you're working somewhere separately, you might need to pay for it. If you're an employee, though, working for a courthouse, you wouldn't be paying for it. So Jill, if you want to answer about Veritext specifically.
Yeah, actually, that's a great question. Veritext actually charges you, their software is proprietary, so they actually charge you $1 per job for that licensure. So yes, that's a great question. And I did not touch upon that. So every job you take, $1 comes out of that big hourly to pay for the software license. Good question.
Wonderful. Courtney asks, hey there, this sounds great so far. Just curious, if I work for the courthouse, can I still do remote? How much does the course cost?
For the courthouse, I have heard of court reporters working remote. I don't know how common it is even today, and I can't be specific about Manatee County either. But if you reach out to your local courthouse and ask or look online, you might be able to find that out. What was the second question again?
Let's see here. How much does the course cost? Which I believe that you guys talked over.
$795. If you don't have any scholarship, it's $795.
Wonderful. Here we have digital reporting doesn't have a requirement to appear in person for any part of the job.
It depends. Most jobs right now are all remote with all parties, even when they're doing hearings, the judge is remote. As we hopefully get past COVID sooner or later, some will start going in person, and you're also going to have the attorneys that now like the Zoom setting, don't want to leave their house and love the luxuries from their house. So I think COVID has changed the reporting industry going forward in some aspect. Some participant in that deposition proceeding is most likely going to be remote. You could have 4, 5, 6 attorneys, and maybe one will be remote, and you'll have them on the screen, on a Zoom screen. So right now, as far as Veritext is concerned, probably at least 98% of our jobs are completely remote. We have some in person, and those are reporters that are like, I'm done being at home with my 3 kids, get me out of here, I'm fine doing in person, and they'll go in person. So it's what the reporter wants too, but predominantly still all remote.
Awesome. Does the equipment need to be purchased during the course?
You don't need any equipment for the course, no. And the only thing you need is that the trial of the software that is free, but you don't need equipment in order to use the software. You would need it once you're in the field.
Gotcha. And Donna asks, when do you take your certification exam after course completion? Is there a minimum work requirement to take it?
I'm glad that was asked. I want to clear up a little bit about the AAERT certification. There is no certification requirement for the state of Florida. And you don't have to get that AAERT, love that acronym, certification to be a digital reporter. It's a bonus if you do, and some employers like Veritext looks at that as something that they would want to pay you more to become certified, but it's not a requirement to work. If you choose to become certified, there's a few options the AERT will make sure that you either have 1 year experience as a digital reporter before you take the exam, or have the Ed2Go certificate that you've taken the course and completed it, and then you're eligible to take the exam, or a letter of recommendation from a AERT member. So by taking the course, you're able to bypass that 1 year requirement basically, and can take that certification exam.
Janet asked, do you get a pass-fail for each module? Can you redo each module? Any limits?
Yeah, you're able to take retake quizzes and tests. Like, I very rarely have a time where somebody isn't able to pass any quizzes and tests, and if so, I can reset it. And you have the 6 months in the course. You have that 6 months of the course information that you have access to. So even if you finish the course in 2 weeks, like I said, like, you can definitely get it done in 2 weeks if you are able to commit that time. Then you still have access to that information for another, 5 months and 2 weeks. So.
Awesome. This is a question for Jill. Are part-time opportunities available? I'm a retired senior seeking an at-home situation.
Yes, part-time is absolutely available, and you can make your own schedule. Obviously, the numbers I quoted earlier wouldn't apply to part-time, but yes, we have part-time opportunities open too, also at Veritext.
Wonderful. Let me see some more questions here. Is a transcription a separate job? Is there any value in doing both jobs?
Yes, so that is a separate job, and that if you do become a legal transcriptionist, you would be going home and having a whole different job, basically, of typing up the transcript, and you being that final step in the process. And there are digital reporters that do both, but the majority do one, or just the reporting aspect, and then use a legal transcriber. But you can definitely do both in this industry. And I believe courthouses even like it when you can do both, because they have the need for both.
Awesome. Maria asks, is the SCF course in person, or can it be done online? What is the length of the SCF course?
I'm not sure about the SCF course, but the Ed2Go digital court reporting course is all online, and at your own pace.
So just to clarify, there is no SCF course. There's no court reporter course in person. What SCF is offering is the digital court reporter program through Ed2Go, which is 100% online.
Awesome. If I register in course and after a while I want to drop off the course, should I pay for it?
Maybe ask that question. Are they asking if there's an ability for a refund, or that they would be responsible for the rest, for paying the scholarship that they were given? I'm not sure if I can answer that one.
Perfect. We have a lot of questions here, but I think that I've covered most of them. There's a lot of duplicates. Thank you so much to all the participants and the presenters for the Career Connections Court Reporter presentation. It's been wonderful to understand the position in full. And like I said before, a survey will appear at the end of this webinar. We would love to hear from you for future webinar ideas and thoughts. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.